Hello, Royal Community. Welcome to this week's YouTube Live. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Michelle. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Windsors.
Welcome. I just wanted to start off, Shell, by saying grab yourself a cuppa because we had a comment last week. Someone who obviously listens to the podcast.
It was Laurie. Hi, Laurie.
That says, I miss you saying grab yourself a cuppa. So I thought I would mention that because, and then I was trying to remember, hang on a minute, what was our actual grab yourself a corgi? I've forgotten it.
Yeah, we do have a little spiel, don't we, at the start of it that we should say. Quickly, we are going to be chatting about the state visit. This week, we're also going to be chatting about Catherine, the Queen Camilla's health. There's lots of stuff going on this week. If you are wanting to know only certain aspects of what we're talking about, there will be timestamps, so anybody watching this after the fact, feel free to scroll back and forth to whichever part you want, or start from the beginning and watch it as you go along. But make sure you're commenting as well. Let us know what you're thinking, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you love the royal family as much as we do, because we're real royal fans, aren't we, Rach?
Absolutely. Before we get into the loveliness of the state visit, I just wanted to mention quickly, this week we had the sad news that Liz Hatton passed away. She was the 17-year-old cancer patient who, I don't know if you remember our community, but Catherine and William met her, and one of her ambitions and dreams before she passed away was to capture as much as she could, because she was an amateur photographer, and she actually was recording and captured an investiture at Windsor Castle, and that was shared over on William and Catherine's Instagram page. And I just wanted to mention that because she was such a brave young lady, and honestly, before the announcement, I was thinking about her that week because her mum had written on her Twitter account that they were going to be celebrating Christmas that this weekend, but unfortunately she didn't make it. And it just made me like so sad for her family. But her mum has said, could you, as royal fans, share Liz's work as much as possible? So we did post over on our Instagram stories some lovely pictures that Liz took. So head on over to Liz Hatton Photography and you'll be able to make comments and have a look at the work. So yeah, just wanted to start off on that sad news.
Yeah, repost her photography. I think you and I, Rach, we were really thrilled when we saw Liz at the palace. It was like, amazing! I think it was Windsor Castle, wasn't it?
Windsor Castle, yeah.
It was so amazing. And I love the fact that she had that experience before she passed away. What a trooper. She honestly fought right to the end, and my heart goes out to her family. So yeah, as part of the royal community, it'd be lovely if we could help share the message and spread Liz's photography worldwide. So feel free to do that. And yeah, such a sad note to start on, but such an important legacy to have as well.
Exactly. Shall we start with the state visit, Shell?
We can do whatever you like, Rach.
Or shall we? Actually, let's start with Catherine first, because we've got a little bit of news about Catherine. Catherine's carol service takes place this Friday. It's going to be recorded this Friday, but won't be shown until Christmas Eve. And there was a letter sent to every single guest, and you can see this over on their Instagram, and it's Prince and Princess of Wales. And in this letter, she says that love is the light that can shine bright, even in our darkest times. We must all shine for each other. I just thought that was so lovely. As I said, you can read the full letter over on Instagram. But what I really love is the behind the scenes. So you actually saw the letters going to print, and then you saw it being posted through the red letterbox. All community. Those red letter boxes, I'm sorry, but they must be like in posh town London, because there's none of those around where I live. So if you're thinking we have those, not everybody does.
But they're not that clean, are they?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be talking about the carol service next week. Also staying with Catherine, in support of this year's Addiction Awareness Week, as patron, Catherine shared a message, and she said, everyone suffering from addiction is another human being with a story of their own, which many of us don't understand or see. Addiction affects everyone, but recovery is possible. And you can read the full message over on the Forward Trust website.
Yeah, and I've any patronages, any kind of links that we use when we create our notes, they'll be in the description of the YouTube video. So if you need any of that, or in any of the descriptions of however you're watching this, yeah. Again, it's a very important charity that Catherine's connected to, isn't it? The Forward Trust, and yeah. It's action on addiction as well, isn't it? It's like all connected together. So yeah, let's hope the awareness week goes really well and it raises lots of money for the charity. If you want to donate, can't get my words in today. If you want to donate, again, there's the link in the description for that.
Yeah. Next, we've got the Earthshot report, which is a new program called the Earthshot Report 2024, which will take a deep dive into previous Earthshot finalist stories. It will be introduced by William and hosted by Hannah Waddingham from December the 15th on BBC iPlayer. I saw this again on the Royal Socials on Prince and Princess of Wales Instagram. And you see William at the beginning, but I think this isn't, obviously, he's just doing the introduction, and this is going to focus heavily on what's been happening to these finalists and how they've been working and the money that they've received from the Earthshot prize, how they're using that money to come up with solutions and to better their programs that they already initiated to begin with. So this is going to be really interesting, I think. And it's got that, obviously, that little bit of royal connection. So that kind of pulls in more people watching it.
Yeah, I didn't know about this actually, Rachel. When you wrote this in the notes, I was like, oh, I've missed a bit of royal news this week. I didn't know. But this is right up my alley because we hear so much about the winners, and it's amazing. They win £1 million per, per section, whatever it is. And what I love is that they go off and they do their thing, but everyone else still gets supported. So those 10 people, it's 5 per category, isn't it? So those people will always have the support from Earthshot. But what are they doing? Where are they? It's now 3 years on. 4 years on? Are we on the 4th one? Oh my gosh, is my brain going today? We've had London, we've had Boston,
third, aren't we?
We've had Boston,
South
Africa,
and now
Singapore.
Africa.
We had Singapore.
Oh, Singapore.
It's 4. So 4 years on, I'm really excited to watch this. And we know Hannah Waddingham has been Royal Community, just go with it today. I literally cannot talk. Waddingham is one of those days. Yeah, she was connected. I think she was at the Boston one, if I remember right, wearing that lovely red dress. So I'm excited. Again, it's going to be a little bit of the 15th of December, we're going to have this. And then the week after, we're going to have the carol concert. I love a Royal BBC. Bring it on. Rachel, you there? Can you hear me? I think Rachel's gone, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, she's here.
No, the carol concert's shown on ITV, don't forget.
So we've got BBC for Earthshot and we've got carol concert for ITV.
I can see you. I can hear you.
Okay. She's behind everyone.
I was saying carol concerts ITV.
Okay. I'm just double checking that Rachel's Wi-Fi is in sync with us. Bear with me. Can you hear me, Rach?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so everyone, Rachel's Wi-Fi is behind slightly. So I'm going to just let Rachel come out and come back in again. And fingers crossed, there we are now. Hey, I want to tell you actually something really exciting that I found. You can get your Christmas cards ready and post them to the King, to Queenie Camilla, to the Prince and Princess of Wales, to the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. Send them all to Buckingham Palace and they will get divvied out. Even the Royal Hobnob, Princess Anne, feel free to write your Christmas cards and send them in. And you may potentially get a response back. When you do send in your Christmas card, make sure you write a return address on it so they know where to send yours. bear with me, I'm just adding Rachel in now. But that is really exciting. And if you have ever sent in a card to Buckingham Palace, then here's Rachel. If you've ever sent in a card to Buckingham Palace, let us know in the comments. Have you ever had a response from them? What did they say? And what card did you get? Because they always do like a lovely Christmas card every year of a picture of one of their events in the year. So yeah, it's always quite interesting what pictures they choose for those Christmas cards. Hey, Rich, you back?
Yeah, I think so.
Yay!
This is live, everyone.
It's live. This is the way it goes. Don't you worry about it. Well, I was just telling the royal community about the Christmas cards, and if you want to post yours right now, you might get a response from Buckingham Palace, because you've had a few responses in the past, haven't you, Rach?
Yeah, I've written one to Queen Camilla, and I got obviously she didn't write it herself back to me, but it was always nice to receive a card back, especially when it has that Buckingham Palace or Clarence House or Windsor Castle or wherever it's coming from.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something to treasure as well, you know, especially as royal community members. That's such a big deal for us, and it's lovely to keep and bring them out every year as well. Maybe you start a collection of every year trying to get one. Let's talk about the state visit then, Rach. We had the state visit of the Emir of the State of Qatar, which began with William and Catherine greeting the Emir. Am I saying that right? Emir and his wife, Sheikha Jawaya. And I looked into that word, and it actually means jewels, which I love that. Jawaya means jewels. Before being welcomed by the king at Horse Guards Parade. We saw Catherine back.
Oh, it was so nice. And I felt like because we had Horse Guards Parade, we had them at Buckingham Palace after when they inspect things that are connected to Qatar. And then we had the state banquet. I was messaging so many people, and I was like, oh, this is what I love about royal watching. This is what it's all about. Yeah. It felt like it was like back in the day, like a year or so ago before everything else happened. But it was just so lovely to see Catherine. She looked incredible. We knew that she wasn't going to be attending the state banquet. I think obviously that did disappoint some people, but at least they told us beforehand, so we wasn't waiting, and then she didn't turn up.
Yeah, because a lot of people wait up. What tiara is she wearing? What is she wearing? And to have that knowledge, obviously you still want to see the other members of the royal family, but you're not waiting for Catherine in that sense. I absolutely loved that she wore the same colour as the Bentley car. I'm sure it was Bentley. It might have been a Rolls Royce behind her. I was like, are you trying to like mix in with the different colours? Where's Catherine? Oh, there she is.
I think it had more to do with the fact that Qatar's flag has burgundy in it. So as we know, royal community, there's always a connection when it comes to certain outfits that they wear, certain pieces of jewellery that they wear. She was wearing that lovely pearl choker. I absolutely love that. We've seen that on her a few times. And I love a classic Catherine updo.
Oh, her updo was spectacular. Let's put it that way.
And I don't know if you noticed, Shell, but she was wearing knee-high boots. Then when we saw her at Buckingham Palace, she had changed her coat dress into another coat, and she was wearing heels.
Ooh,
yeah.
Actually, that's a good point, Rach, because I remember seeing her wearing heels, but I didn't put the two and two together. I don't know why I didn't, but yeah. I love those boots. I thought they were lovely.
Yeah, they were so nice. Also, I loved seeing Sophie, Edward, the Duke of Kent, Duke of Gloucester, Duchess of Gloucester. It's just always so hard because as a royal fan, we want to see all of them, but the main royal socials only picked up, like, someone was saying, oh, where's Sophie and Edward? They're here. Yeah, well, where? Like, we can't see them. Take some photos of them, take some videos of them so we can see them. So I was like scrambling around trying to find pictures of them. But yeah, it's just always nice to see the extended family members, isn't it?
Absolutely. Do you know what I did? I watched, some of the legacy media, they have the YouTube channels that follow the royal family. I watched their live feeds. Now, bear in mind, I watched it after the fact, so I can watch it on 2-speed to fast forward all the bits. There's nothing happening, right? But it was wonderful because you get to see their facial expressions. You don't really hear them talking very much. It's they're far enough away that you can't really understand what they're saying, but you get their intentions and what they're looking at. And I really enjoyed that. I really loved seeing them looking at all the exhibits that was on display for the state visit. What I've done, Rach, is I've put together a little kind of what is a state visit kind of section for us today. Okay. So I thought what we'll do is we'll go through what is a state visit, because what we're talking about will then start making sense. So let's start with what it is. It's a visit to or from a country to strengthen Britain's relationship with other countries. And these get advised by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office to the King to invite certain foreign monarchs, presidents, or prime ministers. Now, bear in mind, there's inward state visits, which is what happened this week, which means another foreign monarch come to Britain, and then there's outbound, which means that as in the king goes to another country for their state visit. Now, what happens is they get welcomed at Horse Guards Parade with a ceremonial welcome. The visiting country is invited to inspect the guards of honor. And then they have a carriage procession back to the palace, escorted by mounted soldiers from the House Guards Cavalry. Now, if you are visiting London and it's a state visit, that is a wonderful thing to witness on the Mall, right, Rach?
Yeah. And one you probably wouldn't be expecting to see either.
Exactly. After that, there's a Green Park and Tower of London gun salute, and some of the, not always, but sometimes the Royal Collection create an exhibition in whichever place is hosting the state visit. We'll come to that in a minute. They create this exhibition, and then the visiting countries, dignitaries, and people will go around and look with members of the royal family. So when we were saying that Catherine went from outside to inside, what we mean is she was at Horse Guards Parade with the King and the Prince of Wales and some of the governmental people and our Prime Minister, greeting them at this ceremonial welcome. And then they went back to Buckingham Palace after doing a carriage procession. And then they went to the exhibition. So this is where I was saying to you, I watched that exhibition, them looking at the artifacts on the live stream. So it kind of all makes sense as you see the kind of patterns that happen with the state visits. So, Rach, when the King of Spain visited in 2017, a display of Spanish-themed objects were curated, including several items dedicated to Queen Emir of Spain, who was Queen Victoria's youngest granddaughter and King Philippe's great-grandmother. This is why those exhibitions are really important, because not only do we have the history with that country, but it also makes them feel really welcomed, and that there's a lot of thought that's gone into the items or the pictures or whatever is there. I just love the little facts like this. And then we get to the evening part, which is usually held in Buckingham Palace Ballroom. And if you watched our live stream last week, you will know that I think this is the last one, isn't it? And then next year, they will all be moving to Windsor Castle or some other locations. I think it's mostly going to be Windsor Castle, but there'll be other ceremonial places like St. James's Palace. I can't remember if anywhere else.
No, it's just St. James's Palace and Windsor. Yeah.
Now, what happens with the ballroom, Buckingham Palace Ballroom, around 150 guests are invited. And in order to be invited, you need to be connected to the host country, or the hosted country, so to speak, based on cultural, diplomatic, or economical links. You get speeches from the king or whomever the monarch is at the time, and also the visiting head of state, foreign monarch or prime minister, and then they give them they have toasts, and then obviously the other days, because it's although that's kind of like over a day and a half, let's say, they may actually have a state visit for 4 days or 3 days or whatever. So they meet other governmental people, and also they attend other banquets and also places of interest to them. So that is a state visit. I thought I would just give you a little bit more info.
Shell, can I just add though, before you say that, this was a really quick state visit because it's already finished. So this was only like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they were gone. And also you saying about connections to the country. So why was David and Victoria Beckham there?
Well, I will tell you why David and Victoria Beckham was there, because he was acting as a paid ambassador for Qatar when it hosted the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So he was an ambassador through Sports Links, and that's the reason why he was there in that capacity. Victoria Beckham looked very nervous, right? Did you see her? She looked super nervous.
She did. And considering she's probably met the royals quite a few times, I mean, come on, like the amount of times we've seen David Beckham this year with the royals, he's chomping at the bit for that knighthood, isn't he? That in that honours list.
Honestly, I was thinking this. I think he's probably going to get a knighthood when William, like around the reign of William. Not to say that William's going to actually, like, you're going to be a knight, but I don't know. There's a bit more time, I think, before he gets his knighthood. Also, David Beckham was sat next to the newly appointed Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch. I hope I'm saying her name right. So again, that is like, I don't know how they put together the seating plans, but yeah, it'd be quite interesting to know.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, what I enjoyed was seeing, I always enjoyed the walkthrough when you see all the guests going through, and we had, I mean, obviously as a royal fan, I'm refreshing Twitter like every 20 seconds, like, come on, like, what tiaras are they wearing? What tiaras are they wearing?
Tell us, Rach, what tiaras were they wearing?
And then I saw Queen Camilla wearing Queen Alexandra's I can't pronounce it. That's it. Kokoshnik tiara, and Queen Elizabeth II's City of London fringe necklace. Now, this tiara I have been waiting to see because it's one of my favourites. I just think it looked lovely on Camilla. It really suited her face shape. It's quite obviously a big tiara, and the way Camilla has her hair flicked out, I just thought it really complemented her face shape really well. And this was the first time we saw all of the royal ladies wearing the King's royal family order.
Yes!
Now, we had seen Queen Camilla wearing this previously when the president of South Korea visited for the last state visit. So we knew that she already had hers, but we saw Princess Anne, we saw Sophie, the Duchess of Wessex, Countess of, no, hang on, what is she now? Duchess of Edinburgh. Duchess of Edinburgh, and the Duchess of Gloucester. Now, Sophie was wearing the aquamarine tiara. She's worn this one many times. Sorry, it's called the Wessex aquamarine tiara. This is one that she goes back to quite a lot because it's the Wessex tiara. It's her tiara.
Yeah.
And then we had Princess Anne. She was wearing the aquamarine pine flower tiara. And the Duchess of Gloucester was wearing Queen Mary's honeysuckle tiara. Now,
I love that one.
Yeah, I love that one. And what I've got to say, and one of our royal community members, Greg, he actually mentioned this, and I've got to agree.
Shout out to Greg.
Shout out to Greg. He's like a magpie, like any of the jewels, he's there. Love it. He mentioned, and I've read about this before, that Brigitte's mother-in-law, the Duchess of Gloucester, Alice, the Duchess of Gloucester, had such an extensive jewelry collection, and I just love when Brigitte wears any of the jewelry that belonged to her late mother-in-law. She was wearing this really it was quite an unusual necklace, wasn't it? It was like pearls with diamonds, but it was kind of like dropped.
That's it. It was like a drop.
Yeah, she was wearing a brooch as well, just incredible. And the only thing I would say, and I think again Greg mentioned this, was with Sophie's tiara. It was aquamarine, but her jewellery was emeralds, and I thought it was a bit of a clash with the green with the light blue.
I'm going to say something, Rach, that might actually contradict this.
Oh.
When this is just me with my eyesight, whether this is true or not, I've no idea. When I watched it live on the live stream, that big aquamarine in the middle looked green to me. It did not look aquamarine. So whether they changed out the stone, I'm not quite sure. Or whether my eyesight needs checking, I'm not quite sure. But
in the photo, because if you head on over to our Instagram, Keeping Up the Windsors Pod, I did actually post a photo of Sophie wearing this tiara. It looks blue. It does look light blue.
But I think that's like, can you remember when the family order came out? And we were like, is it green? Is it blue?
Yes.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know that
true.
for sure. It makes sense that it would still be aquamarine because it always has been. But I did actually think, I was kind of taken back, like, oh, that looks like a green stone. So, yeah, I don't know is the answer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's aquamarine, but have a look on the live stream, everybody, and see what you think and let us know in the comments.
But also what I loved about Anne, for example, Anne's tiara was gifted to her in 1973 as a wedding present from the Queen Mother. And her dress that she was wearing, she wore like to a state visit 20-something years ago. I saw a picture of her wearing exactly the same outfit. And I think she was wearing the same tiara as well. And you know, Anne, probably the same hairstyle. She just had like darker hair then.
I was going to say, there was some puff sleeves going on. Come on, girl, what's going on?
It was very 80s, wasn't it? It was very 80s.
You know me. The Hobnob's my favourite royal member of the family. I love her. Absolutely love her. But puff sleeves? Come on.
And also, Shell, I don't know if you caught this watching the live feed, but did you see when the king had given his speech and at the end they do the toast? So the Emir was, I think it was the Emir or maybe like another dignitary was sat next to Anne.
Yeah.
And I think obviously they're supposed to clink glasses and you could see Anne kind of like lift her glass to her mouth and then she kind of like looked and she was like
yeah, and then she looked and the person to her other side is already drunk and she just like kind of nodded her head like okay, because obviously she didn't want to be rude because the Emir was like, oh, let's do like cheers, you know.
Exactly.
I love those little moments. I love it.
I know. But I want to, again, we say this near enough every week, shout out and bravo to the royal fan accounts, because again, trying to find a clear photo of Sophie wearing that tiara, I had to screenshot from the video that I was watching to be able to get a photo of her. And again, it's just like, come on, royal socials, you know what we want to see, you know we're on Tiara Watch. Post the Duchess of Gloucester, post Anne, post Sophie. Like it's ridiculous that we're the ones that have to do all the work. Yeah, absolutely. And Greg, we're going to shout Greg out again. Greg told us about this amazing book. I'll pop it in the description. I can't remember what it is. It's all like the history of the royal jewels, right? And it's incredible. It's like this thick, isn't it?
It's a wedge. You could probably stand on it to get a bit more height.
Isn't it called Diamonds? Is it that one?
I think it might be the Diamonds book. I will confer with Greg and pop the right link in the description. But it's such an encyclopedia, especially of jewels that we haven't seen in a long time. I also saw information about the Queen of Copenhagen, Mary. I'm saying Copenhagen correctly, right? As in
Denmark, Denmark.
Denmark. Oh my gosh. I was thinking, yeah, it's one of those days, royal community, you just got to go with me. Oh, Rachel's gone. I don't know what's happened. She's gone. I have no clue what's happening. I'm on my own royal community. I will go back to what I was saying earlier. We were chatting about the... She's coming back. She's coming back. Where is she? Let's see. She joining me. She's here.
I don't know what happened then. I didn't even touch
neither.
anything.
No clue. Don't you worry. I was literally about to tell the royal community about the banquet menu and what they actually ate at the state the meal. So for a starter, they had a tartlet of Cornish lobster and quail eggs. They had a main of pheasant wrapped in Savoy cabbage, roasted celeriac puree, and potato gratin with cheese from Suffolk, truffle sauce, and winter vegetables. Dessert. Are you ready for dessert, Rach? Ice bomb with organic Samoan vanilla ice cream and a Balmoral plum sorbet. I mean, get in my belly is what I say.
Very snazzy.
I do want the pescatarian version of this, but, you know, we'll just go with it. We will just go with it. So that's what they ate. Apparently, Rach, every state banquet has a 4,000-piece dinner set. 4,000. Wow. I mean, can you imagine they're washing up after that? It's just like, what?
Incredible. It's always one of those things as well that where they use in-season produce, don't they? So they plan the menu around the veg and the fruits of the season of what's going to be the best of the best and to showcase what they can do. And I guess as well, because it was the Emirs, probably like certain foods that they can't eat for religious reasons. Yeah. So they probably had to be very particular about what was going to be on that menu.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. In the King's banquet speech, he said, "In many ways, this evening might be seen as a homecoming. Your Highness is no stranger to these shores, having spent so much of your younger years at 3 of our most renowned institutions, Sherborne, Harrow, and Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. Your many visits since then have served as a testament to the close personal ties that bind our nation and our families." And as we know, they always like to have a little sentence or two in the visiting country's native language. And obviously that always goes down well. Watching the live feed, Rach, you could hear a pin drop in that place. Honestly, a pin drop. And I thought, wow, how would it feel to actually go to one of these banquets? How would it feel? Because I mean, I would look, and there's 5 different glasses on the table. It's like a pretty woman moment. Like, which cutlery thing do I use first? I think I would be very anxious. I think I'd be a bit stressed, chuffed to be there, but still a little bit anxious. But what I will love, I really want to point this out. The band, when does it become an orchestra? I never know whether we'll just say band. The band in the ballroom. So if you've ever been in the Buckingham Palace ballroom, at the top is a massive organ, and it takes up the one side. It's a lovely organ, but it hardly ever plays. But anyway, the band was there. And the acoustics were just spectacular. So lovely. And it was just lovely to see that room in its purpose, what it's made for. Fair enough. They wasn't dancing. They didn't get up. And I don't know, actually. Maybe they did move the chair. Obviously they didn't. But yeah, it was a very successful state visit, I will say. I think Rachel's behind slightly, guys. I also wanted to bring up.
Yeah, can you still see me, Shell? Because my internet keeps messing up.
I can see you, but I think you're lagging behind slightly. But don't worry, come out and come back in when you hear this message. And I'm going to tell the royal community about Camilla's health. Now, Camilla told guests at Buckingham Palace that she has had pneumonia. And one of the after effects of it is fatigue, which also explains why she's not been carrying out engagements recently. And it's she didn't actually go to the outside ceremonial part of the state visit in Horse Guards Parade, but she did she did meet them and join in with the state visit in the banquet part, and that's obviously where we see her with that beautiful tiara and with the royal order. So it was really lovely to see her, but we now know that she's had pneumonia, which is before we just heard that she had a chest infection. And I think, obviously, I hate to say it, but when you're the age that Camilla is, it's can be really, really detrimental, and you need a lot of rest. So it makes a lot of sense when we hear that it's pneumonia. You go, oh, that makes sense, that maybe she tried to come back to engagements, but the fatigue has just pushed her back constantly. So yeah, I mean, how are you feeling about that, Rach?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last week. I think if Camilla isn't feeling 100%, then she shouldn't come back until she is. But I guess because this was a state visit, she had to be there in some capacity. So I'm glad, I'm happy that we saw her. She did actually have an engagement today as well. So hopefully she is on the mend. And she did say that she feels okay, but she still feels a bit under the weather. So just as long as, her health is okay and she's got the okay from the doctors, then that's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. And let's wish her well and hope that she's on the mend and the fatigue goes away as soon as it can, because it's absolutely dreadful, and it's not to be messed with. You really have to just take it easy as much as you can. So let's head. I'm just double checking if we've hit everything that we were supposed to be talking about today, Rach, and I think we have. So why don't we head to a few of our Royal community comments that we've had whilst we've been chatting live. And Carrie said, very sad news when we were talking about Liz Hatton earlier. And it's super sad. Like I say, our hearts go out to Liz's family and all who knew and loved her. Raven Kale, welcome. One of my favorite parts of state visits is when they look at the exhibits of items from the royal collection from the hosted countries. I would love to see some of these, and like for the royal socials to actually like pan some of these, just do a panning shot, like a little video of what they're actually looking at, just to bring us into it more. What do you think, Rach?
Yeah, I think that would be such a good idea. Like, we see what the guests are seeing.
Yeah, exactly. Raven Kale, I literally just saw that you've written it's Danny. Hi, Danny! Woohoo! I love it. So let's go with I love that Greg knows all this stuff. Go Greg. Yes, go Greg. So Lauren said, I would need to take a course before attending a state banquet. I'm sure there's so many rules, spoken and unspoken. I think I would hazard a guess, Royal community, that there are way more unspoken rules than spoken rules. It makes it a lot harder to go to these state banquets. And Raven Kale Danny is saying, I love that idea, Michelle. I can't remember what that idea was. Maybe it was to do with the maybe it was to do with sending you Christmas cards. I don't know. I'm not sure. Rach, how are you feeling about this week? Are you excited about Catherine's carol concert? Because obviously we're not going to see it, because it's not going to be advertised. Not advertised. What's the word? Shown on TV until Christmas Eve. But how are you feeling about seeing it? She's gone, everyone. I feel like this is like a panto. Like, he's behind you. There she is. No, she's not. That's a very British thing, Royal community. Let me know how you feel about the royal banquet, the state visit. Did you think he was cool? Did you like other ones beforehand? I do have a bit of info for you, actually, that I was going to mention earlier. since the reign of King Charles III, he has had, let's have a look, the President of the Republic of South Africa in November 2022 as an inward state visit. Also, the President of the Republic of Korea in November 2023. Also, Their Majesties, the Emperor and Empress of Japan, that was in June 2024. And obviously the Emir of the State of Qatar, December 2024. I remember when the Queen passed away, it was actually quite quickly that the state visit of South Africa happened. And I did actually really feel for King Charles, because that was the first time that he had to kind of step into that role in a very ceremonial, really eyes all on him as a monarch. So yeah, that was quite, how do I want to put it, quite alarming, I would say, for him. Obviously it went absolutely swimmingly, he did a brilliant job, but still that's a lot of pressure. Now, outbound state visits was Germany in March 2023, France in September 2023, Kenya in October 2023, and recently Samoa, which we talked about on our live streams in November. Now, fun fact for you, which I did find out on the Royal Community socials, Queen Elizabeth II hosted, okay, I'll ask you first and then I'll give you the answer. How many state visits do you think Queen Elizabeth II hosted during her time as monarch? How many do you think? Have a little guess. It is 112. Can you believe that? Hello, Rachel, you're back.
I don't know if I am. I'll just quickly come on to say bye because I don't know what's going on with my internet today.
Well, you say goodbye, Rach. Have a lovely day. I'll sign off the Royal Community in a minute. Don't you worry.
If I go off again,
have a lovely day, Rach. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
All right, we've got Mary. Hello. There we go. You have said, Mary, not Lizzie, the diplomatic aspect royalty is very interesting to me. I love these visits. I love that. You also said that you thought Camilla's tiara was amazing. Oh, let me remove Rachel from there. There we go. And that she has a perfect hairstyle for wearing them. Do you know, I think that is so true. I definitely think that her hairstyle does tend to take a bigger, fuller tiara. Could you imagine a really dainty tiara? I don't think it would work. And I think Queen Camilla needs those just a little bit bigger, wider tiaras, and they do suit her perfectly. I thought she looked absolutely lovely on the state visit. Oh, Danny said, love you, Rach. I know she's having a bit of Wi-Fi issues, so we wish you well, Rach. We hope the Wi-Fi sorts itself out. And Carrie said, love seeing Camilla in that tiara. I agree. And I also thought that the lovely burgundy red color on her as well just worked really well. She always looks great in that color, and also a really lovely blue. So yeah, there we go. Let me just hide that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for putting up with our tech issues. It is live stream, that's what happens. But we hope we've given you lots and lots of information about state visits, about the state visit of the Emir of the State of Qatar, and that you've enjoyed hearing all about our information about the royal family this week. Make sure if you've come right to the end, make sure you subscribe, because we've got so many different royal vlogs on our YouTube channel. We've got a podcast, which we've had 4 years of podcasting over there with over 1 million views. And also we've got an Instagram, Keeping Up with Windsors Pod, which you can join. But not just that. Come on over and join our VIP Royal community. Greg's part of the VIP Royal community, and that's where we chat all about brooches, which we love, and jewellery, obviously, and tiaras, plus so much more. And all the links to join the VIP Royal community will be in the description of this video. So thanks so much. We will see you next week on Keeping Up with the Windsors. Thanks so much for being here. And yeah,